I've been waiting too long. You guys know the song. Beautiful song. I love this song. Waiting for a Girl Like You by Foreigner. Again, I grew up with it. It came out in 1981. I was 10. I mean, my mother loved the song. I mean, this was on Foreigner 4, I think. And I was a fan of Foreigner since, Head Games, 1979, Rev on the Red Line. My brothers and I loved Foreigner. And we just grew up with these late 70s, mid-late 70s, early 80s songs, and they're just beautiful. I'll show you this from beginning to end, and like always, I'll break it down into parts. So the very beginning, they use synthesizer. I mean, this is a digital piano. It doesn't really have much in the way of, I just put strings, simple strings with piano, but they do the intro with just simply strings and synth. Keep in mind, too, I have the piano transposed to +1, because they're originally in a B flat minor, and then it goes to the A flat. It's not so nice. Then it goes to the E flat and D flat. We're gonna keep it in A minor and a G, and then an E minor and a D. So it's a lot nicer of a key. So we're lowering it 1/2 step. So I have it plus a +1. So the A minor sounds like the B flat minor, and the G sounds like the A flat. So here we go. So part 1 is the intro. All the intro does is it starts on an A, then an E, and I'm holding the pedal just to give it that effect, but then a D, then a G, and then a B. And then right when it comes to the A is when it goes. So all it's doing is it's going, the A is a bass. When it starts it's staying on an A bass. It's not going to it's going, and it does like a bass. I don't really exactly know the bass. Something like that, but it's basically, for the most part, it's an A bass. And then the chords on the right hand are an A minor and a G. And then the second time is when it does that synth. So let's get to that part. So while he's holding the A, that little synth part is, you're going to want your thumb on the E, and then your whatever finger is more comfortable on the C, and all it does is it stays on the E on the bottom note, and it goes. That's the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next 4 are. So once more. When I say 4, I mean I'm going in. It's actually the first 8 notes, but the first 8 notes are easy because you're just coming down 1 from the C, and you're hitting the E on every other one. So it's, and then the next 4 are, you're going to go up 1, still hit the E on the 5th one, but then you're going to come down. And that's while you're on the, it's while, I'm not going to track over it, but they're tracking over it when it's doing the. And then while they're doing that, and right when they hit the A minors, when they go. And then the G is the. And then it just repeats. So one more time. Okay, and then when it gets to the chords, so that's part 1, the intro, that little, and then the na 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 na. That's pretty much part 1. Part 2 is the chords of the verse. Now the chords they're pretty simple in the whole song. It stays on an A and it goes, and then when he starts singing, so long I've been looking too hard, I've been waiting too long. He keeps singing, does it 2 more times. I only know it's a matter of time. then it drops to the E. When you love someone, when you love someone. So those chords, so the chords backing up are an A minor over an A and then a G over an A. And then when it goes when you love someone, it drops to the E for the bass, and it's an E minor and a D. Same basic concept. You're an A minor on the bass note, the minor, A minor, G, and then you're an E minor and then a D. When you love someone. And then he stays down here when he continues to sing. It feels so right, so warm and true. I need to know if you feel it too. Okay, that's where he changes it. And he does the maybe I'm wrong. Won't you tell me if I'm coming up too strong? Okay, so right that E minor to D. Now that last one he goes. See how that sounds different? Because he's going that last chord before he goes up to the maybe I'm wrong, it goes E major. E minor, E, or E, you just say E, you don't really have to say E major. An E chord, it goes E minor, D over E, E minor, and then E. So it makes it sound different right before he changes. Maybe I'm wrong, won't you tell me if I'm coming on too strong? This heart of mine has been hurt before. This time I want to be sure. So basically, an F major 7. Now, either one sounds good. I listen and it sounds like a C over an F. But an F major 7 is basically an A minor over an F bass. And that sounds good too. I think that could be right. I listened to this real quick, and again, I play by ear, and it just sounded, from that E, it sounds good when he goes. That sounds good. That's basically a C over an F and then a G. Or you could do, the music says, I believe on Guitar Tabs, the music says an F major 7 in a G, which an F major 7 is, that's an F major 7. So if we're using the bass down here, I don't like 4-note chords personally. You don't have to hit that F. You could just, that's an F major 7 because you're using the F as a bass, so you're still hitting an F note. At the lowest note, it's going to be an F. So that's an A minor, and that's a C. See the difference? The C is kind of like a minor 7. It's not as harsh. Maybe I'm wrong. Or you could go, maybe I'm wrong. Won't you tell me if I'm coming up too strong? So those chords in the I've been waiting for a girl like you to come into B flat, come into my life. Back to a D minor. I've been waiting. And in the keyboards, they'll go like from a D minor to a C, but it's basically a D, holds D minor. A love that will survive. So B flat and then G minor. Yeah, waiting to make me feel alive. B flat to D minor. And then the fourth one is D minor, just like the second line. D minor for a girl like you, B flat, G minor. And then it goes, and then right back to the, and then it starts the whole, it repeats basically everything. It repeats the intro, and then the, that whole thing, it repeats everything that we just went through. And it does that till fade out when it basically does the waited for you and you're coming into my life. And then it does that. And it just keeps doing that until fade out. That's pretty much the whole song. But Foreigner is awesome. I mean, I'll do more Foreigner songs. I grew up with them. In fact, if you want to know a little where I'm from in Rochester, Lou Graham, he's actually friends with my uncle. They used to drag race back in like the late 60s, early 70s. And if you listen to that song, Rev on the Red Line, about 5 miles from where I grew up in Greece, down by the lake, there's a place called Shallot Beach, and Lake Avenue runs all the way from way up in the city to down and ends at Shallot Beach. When Lou Gramm sings that line, "Running all night down Lake Avenue," that's where he's talking about. It's right real close to where I grew up. So it's some cool history there. My friend, my Uncle Zip's been friends with him since, I mean, they were like teenagers. Lou Gramm's a great guy. He's went through his brain cancer, and he's a Christian guy. He's a really great, like I say, my uncle and him, I think they went to the same church for a long time. So they knew them really. He was friends with them. And my brother Chris did a job for him, did a construction job for him not too long ago. So he's a really cool guy. He's a humble guy. And in fact, the middle school I went to, Merton Williams, there was a teacher there, Mr. Grammatico, and one of the other teachers said, that's Lou Gramm's uncle. And I go, no, it's not. His name's Grammatico. Well, if you look up Lou Gramm, his name was originally Louis Grammatico, and he shortened it to Lou Gramm. So anyway, a little history there. Foreigner is an awesome group. I grew up listening to them, and my heart's out to, I hope Lou's doing well. I know he's had some health issues, but he's a great guy, and I hope he's doing good. So anyway, that's it. That's the little Foreigner history. Waiting for a Girl Like You by Foreigner. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.